Yeah, I'm looking forward to trying this one out. Another Colorado whiskey.
Yeah, we're definitely going to have to circle back and maybe just do a Breckenridge night. Because I've got that bottle that I brought over up in the cabinet upstairs, unopened. I think it's my third. It's the Breckenridge spice whiskey or spice bourbon. It's fantastic. And yeah, I got a bottle through Flavier, and then a couple months later, not knowing I had it in the cabinet, Katie picked up a bottle for a gift, birthday or Father's Day or something. And before that bottle was finished, I picked up another one because I knew that the Gomers in Lenexa kept it in stock. And that one, same style label, is just like a light blue. Okay. With a white wax seal on the top.
Oh, wow, that's cool. I like that extra touch, like the who's Maker's Mark, like they do it. Like everybody knows the Maker's Mark bottle because of that.
Yep.
But yeah, we'll definitely have to do a flight of Breckenridge. I'd be really interested in that.
And then we could do a cocktail. Yeah. With one of them too. So,
but before we do that, we should probably get going on this episode.
That's probably a good idea.
Welcome, dear listener, to the Savor the Burn podcast. My name is Jonathan. Across the table from me is Mr. W2.
Hello, hello.
All right. I hope he's doing all right.
All right.
Little Jim Kilroy for you. If you're from the Kansas City music scene, you get the reference.
I'm reading down through these notes ahead of time, and I found what the PX stands for. So
okay, good. That'll be one of my questions about this thing answered. That's very cool. So tonight we're going to try the Breckenridge PX Sherry Cask Finish Bourbon, 90 proof. But before we get, he's already nosing it. Before we get to that, thank you for listening to the Savor the Burn podcast on your favorite podcast app of choice. Send us an email, info@savortheburn.com. Let us know where it is that you do listen to this. We know that some people listen on Spotify. Others is Apple? iTunes, or is it just Apple Podcast?
Actually, if you're an Apple user, they've kind of started splitting all their stuff out separately. So iTunes or Apple Music is actually what it's become now.
Okay.
iTunes is kind of gone away. iTunes is kind of old school.
Oh, wow.
I think if you still have it, it still works, but iTunes is the desktop app.
Wow.
Now that they've gone cloud and everywhere, on your phone, on your watch, on your iPad, on everything, it's Apple Music. But what they've decided to do is to start creating a little bit more niche market kind of apps. And so there's Apple Podcasts. There's also Apple Classic or Apple Classical, which is all you can still get all the classical music on Apple Music, but they have a special specific app that is just nothing but the classical music.
I do appreciate that stuff, the classical music. But for me, that would be a nightmare. That said, I really do appreciate it for what it is.
I love classical music, and I listen to it actually quite a bit, but I'm not going to go to a separate app that's just that when I can find all of that and then shuffle it, intermix it with my metal and whatnot.
For those that listen to that don't listen to metal, I can't imagine why anybody wouldn't listen to metal. But depending on the metal you listen to, if it's something like radio metal, you would never really probably find those kind of people to be like you, that would listen to a compositionally complex, piece from Chopin or anybody really, Mozart, one of the most famous, most well-known composers. But the truth of it is, when you get into it, the deeper and the heavier you get into music, into metal, even death metal, and some thrash, and symphonic death metal, whatever. You'd be surprised just how complex these compositions are.
There's a lot of overlap.
And so much with classical music.
Oh, absolutely. If you brought up, death metal, just metal in general, if you take the guitar work that's in a lot of that music and take away the heavy distortion and effects and
bring it down to the notes,
it's really not that different than Mozart. Mozart had his The Marriage of Figaro. I forget who he composed that for, but he was told that it has too many notes.
That's a very metal problem.
Exactly.
Very metal problem.
Exactly.
Like if you listen to Dragon Force,
if you're
gag me.
If that doesn't scream metal, I don't know
love
what it is.
Dragon Force, and I'm not one of them. But that's all right. You won't have to compete with me to buy your ticket.
Yeah,
that's fine. That is A-okay. I think we made it through the introduction, didn't we?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. So thanks for stopping by our social medias and giving us a follow and a like and a comment on our stuff, and definitely a subscribe on the YouTube channel. And let's waste no more time getting into this Breckenridge PX Sherry Cask Finish Bourbon, 90 proof. It looks beautiful.
Yeah.
It's got kind of a similar color that we did a little bit ago with the
Axe and Oak.
Axe and Oak.
Axe and the Oak.
Axe and the Oak. Yeah, I didn't want to mess that up, so thanks for calling me on that. But yeah, it's still got like the light caramel, the kind of medium honey.
Yeah, continuing on with the Colorado / Rockies themed bourbons. This is from Breckenridge. This is their PX Sherry Cask Finish Bourbon. Flavier has this listed for $53, and I would say that's pretty on point with what I've seen them locally. Breckenridge has a wide offering of different whiskeys and bourbons and whatnot. Flavier has a lot of them, but you can also find a lot of them locally.
It's got a little more heat on the nose somehow than the 6 proof
96
that we just did. This one kind of stings your nose a little bit more.
There's definitely a sweet sherry right there on the nose.
I didn't pick up on the sherry, not yet, but I definitely picked up on the sweet.
This is a
caramely, maybe vanilla, maybe apple. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I could see some green apple.
Yeah.
This is a 3-year bourbon. It is classified as a bourbon whiskey. The maturation on this is charred American oak and Pedro Ximénez cask finish.
Some of the most sought-after finishing barrels in the entire whiskey universe. Huh.
That's what this says. Yeah, this says Breckenridge has had a port finish bourbon, which I've had. It is another wonderful offering in the lineup for a while, but this is something new. Released for the first time September 2017, so obviously that's been a while. As the name implies, Breckenridge PX Sherry Cask Finish is their multi-award winning bourbon finished in Pedro Ximénez casks.
It starts with an X.
Ximenez.
Yeah.
Some of the most sought after finishing barrels in the entire whiskey universe. Called PX, casks among industry insiders. Their rare barrels have been rotated off of the Solera aging stack. There you go. That's a Spanish sherry, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So they have held some very old and rare sherry. Like their other finished bourbons, the primary aging is in new number 3 charred American white oak casks for a minimum of 3 years. Finishing in the PX casks adds 4 to 6 months in aging and is famous for bringing notes of fig and creamy raisins.
That should be good. I like fig. Do you like figs?
I do.
I like figs too. Well, the fig Newtons. I guess maybe I haven't had an actual fig.
Growing up, one of the memories I have going over and visiting my great-grandfather, who was a fine art painter, and who I actually learned to paint from and got a lot of my love of art from. But he used to just keep tons and tons of packages of fig Newtons. He loved fig Newtons, and so every time we went over to Papa's house, you could guarantee you were going to get a handful of fig Newtons. But back to the actual fig fruit.
Yeah.
I've been seeing a lot of cocktails. My Instagram feed is almost just nothing but cocktails.
Yeah. Yeah. Plus, I'm not helping because I'm sending them to you all the time.
And vice versa.
And, yeah, you're always sending them to me.
And food. But anyway.
Yeah, guilty.
I have seen a lot of cocktails recently that use a sliced fig as the garnish on the rim of the glass. So, might have to venture into that.
That gives us a reason to try one of them. Grab a little package of actual figs. Unless we want to, fucking trailer park it or, Sugar Creek it up and then put a fig Newton on the side of the glass.
This has some orange blossom.
Huh. I'm not picking up on the citrus so much. Not yet, anyway. Who knows? I might pick it up on the mouth.
That sherry is definitely right there on the nose. Which actually reminds me a little bit of our very own KC whiskey from West Bottom or Rieger's.
Wow. This is really good.
Oh, yeah.
That's...
The charring and the oak is very, very subtle on the palate, but I'm getting just a hint of some charred wood. Yeah, this is really good.
I'm actually kind of speechless. This is... There's something in the finish, like right before it finishes, it flushes to like a tobacco-y
I can see that.
And then it sticks with you through the finish, but it's really subtle. This has got a really sweet punch to it.
It's not really your classic caramel. Is that toffee or butterscotch or something maybe?
I don't know.
Definitely a lot of vanilla.
I keep looking at my little... Flavier whiskey glass, and I'm afraid to drink more of it because there's not a lot left.
Well, and I've seen this one on the shelf too, so this is definitely one that is available locally.
That's good to know, because holy shit, this is good. This is good.
Yeah,
That's good.
I compared that to Kansas City style whiskey, and it's not quite the same, but the sherry I'm picking up on the nose. And it pulls through to the palate also. It's different in that by the time it hits the palate, it kind of evaporates and kind of transforms into a little bit of a charred wood, your vanilla, your toffee, those other things. So it doesn't kind of stay with the entire experience like a KC style whiskey is, because the KC style whiskey, what makes it the Kansas City style is it's actually blended with 2% of that sherry. This isn't blended with that. It is just aged in a sherry cask. So you're getting some of that.
You're getting so much more sherry by aging it in that cask. This is really good. Really good.
And the notes say the finish is long and complex. I agree with that. It's a nice... I don't know if I agree with the complex part. There's a lot going on, but it's nice and smooth. So I would not... To me, complex speaks to there's so much going on, I can't make sense of it. This is nice and soft and a long finish.
Well, when I hop onto the Kansas City Whiskey Guild post that I made in there, under the picture of this Breckenridge whiskey, the PX Cask Finish is Dan, and he says one of my favorites.
Oh, really?
Definitely.
Very nice.
So it's good to know that there's some folks here. Dan just also commented here. It says Breckenridge won't disappoint. It's in his cabinet, and I can definitely tell. Well, I can definitely tell why. This is wow. Yeah. I'm really looking forward to the Breckenridge flight, whenever that happens. I'm not sure what to say about the bottle presentation. I mean, we got like this dark walnut topper on a natural cork.
Is that natural cork?
And we've got the classic what I keep calling a bell style. It's rounded shoulders, heavy bottom, like I like my women, and it's beautiful. this is the one I'm holding in hand here is the Flaviar version. It's a reserve, so it's not quite the same. I mean, it serves the purpose of what we're looking at here. It's got kind of the torn label across the top. On the side, the Breckenridge Distillery logo. It's got like a copper still with a worm sticking out there. It's like the cap on the end of it. I mean, this makes me want to hop and do it. That's really cool. This really makes me want to go hop and do a road trip to Colorado and check out their distilleries.
Oh yeah, I think that'd be a good time.
That is such a good whiskey. And the labeling, some might not like it, some may absolutely love it. I mean, I'm happy with it. I don't have anything to complain. It's got all the information on it you could really want. It's a decent bottle presentation. So now I need to calculatify. Because I use some numbers that I don't normally use here.
Yeah, I brought down their rum cask because I wanted to kind of show that, looking at the picture here of this bottle and then looking at their other offerings.
What's the top look on that bottle? Okay, so similar to this. Mm-hmm. The rum cask, yeah.
Yeah, it's just, I like and I appreciate when the distillery kind of establishes their brand and then carries that across all of their offerings. And in this case, they've changed it up with label color, but everything else is kind of pretty similar. The label on this has kind of a faux torn paper edge on the top and the bottom of it. There's kind of it looks like another band label put on top of it, and it's die cut out on the side with a little stamp, little edge on it. It's got some signature. This rum cask that I'm holding, I haven't even opened this one yet, but this is the one that I was telling you about. That this is my third bottle of this. The first one I got was from Flaviar, and then I got another one, and then this one. This says batch number 9, so I don't know anything about their batch sizes and that, but to me that seems like a low number.
Yeah, it's beautiful. I like the sky blue kind of label on that, on the rum cask. But the one we're trying out, though, is a burgundy label, white and gold lettering on there. Maybe that's copper. It's kind of hard to tell. But it's still, I mean, it's a good-looking bottle. You got a little mix of different fonts and things going on there. But what'd you give it on the nose?
I gave it 4 1/4.
Fuck. I underscored it then. I gave it a 3 3/4.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I think you were definitely picking up on more of the notes than I was. I couldn't pick up on all the notes. You picked up on the sherry right away.
I feel like
sherry, even, orange blossom. I didn't pick that up either.
Sherry is a very sweet spirit, and I wonder if maybe some of the sharpness and the heat that you were picking up on wasn't that sherry, just from a different point of view.
Could be. I don't know.
It's kind of like like an apple vinegar. It's very sweet, but if you get a lot of that on the nose, it's very harsh and sharp.
I'm so not a fan of vinegar, but whatever. I accept it as a necessary evil for certain things that I need to eat. Like a vinaigrette in a salad or something. Whatever. Yeah, I gave it a 3.75 on the palate, though. I gave it a 4.75. 4
awesome.
3/4.
I gave it 4.5.
4.5. I was just blown away by the. I probably could have given this a 5 because I was wowed. I was like, wow, this is really good. And especially for somebody like me that has a hellacious sweet tooth. This had. It was also kind of. The sweetness was overshadowing some of the other classic bourbon notes, like your vanilla and your caramel toffee, whatever, those kind of things. But like it had a wine sweet and almost a sugar sweet in there also that I really, really enjoyed. And plus kind of that tobacco kind of as a non-smoker, non-tobacco user, I still miss it from time to time. So I was never offended by the tobacco flavor in my mouth, like if it was chewing tobacco or whatever, or pouches or whatever it may have been. Like, I didn't mind it so much. I didn't love it so much. I wanted to run out and buy the T-shirt, but I wasn't put off by it. So, having that in this really kind of surprised me, but I don't even know, like, officially if tobacco is on the tasting notes that you'll find online. It's just that's what it reminded me of. So don't be put off by that, dear listener. Yeah, what does Flavier say about it?
Oh, you know what? We didn't even look at what's down here. We hit on quite a bit of it, but looking at the picture,
orange marmalade. I would totally get that.
Yeah, and look, I maybe a little licorice, but
nah, I didn't pick up on that. Okay, so yeah, classic bourbon notes, toffee, vanilla, and spice. And we did say fig, almond paste. I don't know if I picked up on the almond paste. I don't think I picked up on licorice, whatever. And but orange marmalade, I could totally see that. But yeah, it was a overarching, whatever the word is, sweetness brought on by that sherry, fruit, spice, sherry, figs, maybe raisin. It doesn't say it here in the notes. It's here on the card, but raisin, yeah. And I love raisins. I eat them like almost every day because I'm 4. I love those Sun-made raisins.
In a little box.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Yeah, maybe I've had a thing for the Sun-made raisin girl since I was a kid, but whatever. I enjoyed it. Did we get to the finish?
We did not.
I gave it a 4 1/4. How about you?
I gave it 4 1/4 also.
All right. How about bottle presentation?
I gave it a 4.
I gave it a 3.75. There's really nothing wrong with it, but I wasn't quite all right or wow or huh. I was like, all right, it's not bad. It's not bad. It's better than average. Average is, going by this rating, is 2.5. So it's over a full point more. You said you gave it a what?
On presentation?
Yeah.
4.
Okay, cool. On my overall rating, my total came up to 8 1/4.
Mine came up to an 8.5.
Had I not discounted it so much with a bottle presentation, my score probably would have been, well, it definitely would have been higher. But if you're just going by the nose, the palate, and the finish, we both scored this mighty decent, mighty fine.
Yep. Another paragraph on the notes that I pulled on this is, we think this is another award-winning bourbon from Breckenridge. Based high in the Rocky Mountains of Colorado at an altitude of 9,600 feet, Breckenridge Distillery calls themselves the world's highest distillery. And yes, we are pretty sure that the pun is intended. If you took a hard look at their impressive range of 9 product offerings and more than 2 dozen awards, including winning Distillery of the Year twice. Oh, man. You might think that they have been around a long time, but Brian Nolt founded the place in 2007. That makes their numerous achievements even more impressive.
Yeah, boy, I'll say. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Distillery of the Year twice.
Yeah. Since 2007.
I mean, that's some
they've been around
competition.
little over 15 years. That's not bad at all. Yeah, Distillery of the Year. Now, we don't know if it's in that county, in that state.
That's true.
In the state.
In the world.
Or in the world. We don't know. But still, like when Into Existence got our, I don't know, we got like, most impressive or, metal band of the year, whatever it was at a Bonsai Awards show, like Kilroy thing. Again, all right.
Apple moon pie.
Yeah, he had those fucking moonshine shots. $2 at the bar. I don't know why. He always kind of hit me as a George W. George W. when he talks, but he didn't actually talk that way. It's just the way my brain reenacts it in my mind. I don't know why. Wouldn't be prudent. No, that was George H.W. Wouldn't be prudent. I forgot where I was going with this. Oh, yeah. So we knew that it wasn't that big of a deal because it was just to, that room of people that we got this award to. So it didn't really go to our heads like I wanted it to. But yeah, if I were Breckenridge, I would definitely be proud of that distillery of the year, no matter what. Seems like they've been putting in a lot of hard work. You said 9 different offerings?
Yeah.
Wow.
So this one, 2 bottles here, that's 3. So there's 6 additional ones.
Yeah.
And I know one of them is a spiced bourbon.
Okay. Yeah.
So, yeah, there's 5 other ones.
With over 24 awards. Fuck. That's a lot. So, I wrote in my summary, a Sherry Cask bourbon that will not disappoint. Sweet across all profiles, this Colorado bourbon will be a hit at your next gathering.
I like it.
Yeah. And is I like it your final thoughts?
It is.
That's my final thoughts on it too, man. I like it. Actually, I really actually quite love it. So now I'm torn. We always say it's not fair to compare, but I mean, compared to the other one, it's still stupid good. Now I don't know which one I want on my liquor shelf, in my liquor cabinet. And speaking of the liquor cabinet, you're going to find on savorthebourbon.com/liquor cabinet, you're going to find this, and you're going to find so many other things that we've tried in the over the course of the life of the podcast, coming up on a full year. We're looking at next month.
That's crazy.
Like, holy shit, a full month. So we're gonna have some special. We're gonna have something special planned. I don't know what it is yet, but gonna have to figure that out soon. So hopefully you've been following along on our socials, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and most especially YouTube, where we thank you for your subscription. But thank you once again, dear listener, for listening to the Savor the Burn podcast. One last time, my name's Jonathan. Across the table is Mr. W2. How do you do? Word. He's doing all right. He's finishing off his Breckenridge. So no matter who you are, where you are, what you're drinking, who you're drinking it with, always remember to keep on burning.